Yeah.
Work, 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 work. You work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. Cause I'm made for that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 in the cafe, it's just entertainment purpose. It's not. It's entertainment purpose. It's not.
Meant to be in the case of anybody.
This is just entertainment purpose. It's not.
Hi, you're here for Hot Tea. If you guys didn't check out the chemistry panel on Fox Soul that Tisha and Marsau attended, no worries, you guys. I got you all covered. And I also only added in their parts in this video because we are only here for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's be honest. We also found out some interesting things about Tisha and Miss Wanda, which would make sense as to why she was on YouTube begging for Marsau to go on live with her. Also, I enjoyed Sasha the Diva. I didn't add everyone that spoke in this panel. I specifically shortened this down to only when Tisha and Marsau had questions. Tisha and Marsau were the odd couple out. Tisha lacked confidence. You can tell she was so unoriginal. It's just written all over her, you guys. Marsau is so disrespectful all the time. He let it be known that 20% was a lot. This is literally what he said. 20% is still a lot. And if he cannot have the whole 100% in his marriage, he's going to go out to get it. Tisha also said that it doesn't matter. She goes to sleep at 8:30. And she just was like, like she don't care. She ain't giving him no nookie. And he got this mindset, like, y'all be for real. Like, this is a horrible marriage, in my opinion. But y'all get in the comments and let me know what you think of this. I'm going to let this play all the way through, and then we can do a review in my next video since you guys don't like when I stop and pause so much. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. You guys haven't been liking my videos as much as you've been watching them, so please get our likes up. Let's get the likes up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hit the post notification bell so you are alert when I post, and you can be up to date with all of the latest Love and Marriage Huntsville news.
Thank you all for being here and helping us kick off the next episode of Chemistry. So today we're going to be talking about a blueprint to a healthy relationship in commemoration to my newly released book, Relationships Matter. So our first couple can be seen on the hit reality TV show, Love and Marriage Huntsville. They own multiple businesses in Huntsville, Alabama, and have been married for 17 years. Please welcome Marsau and Tisha Scott. The next couple have been married for almost 13 years. Welcome Sasha, the Diva Harris, who is a syndicated radio personality, and her husband, Kevin Harris Sr., who is a retired and well-respected chief officer in fire services. All right, guys, the next couple have been married for over 7 years. Let's welcome actor, director, and martial artist Michael Jai White and his wife Gillian White, who is also an actress and martial artist. And now for our relationship expert, Jack A. Daniels, a psychotherapist, founder of Good Men's Club, and former host of Black Love. Welcome, Jack. So it would only be befitting to start with you, Michael. I watched a video of you on your wife's IG page, and you talked about your dating life prior to getting married and how you dated, multiple women and the workout, the physique, and then you chose to marry Gillian. Why did you get married?
I like that. That was good. You worked on that one. Well, I realized she was the one that got away.
Why did you get married?
Why did I get married? Well, she's my third girlfriend of my life.
Okay.
And so throughout college, I really didn't have a girlfriend. I played as a mega side 5 at HBCU, so wasn't really a lot of room for girlfriends.
That came with a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to manage. But anyway, I remember we worked at the same place, and probably a little awkward in today's society, but I remember as she walked in, I could not stop staring at her. And for all the game that I thought I had, the only thing I could say to her as she walked past me was, "You look like a real woman." And that was it. We exchanged number. I gave her my number. Told her, if you want, give me a call. Anyway, we just started talking like friends. We were on the phone just talking, and we went on our first date. And that was, I asked her to go to Home Depot with me because I was flipping this house while I was in school. And I remember me going there and picking out the tile and coming back in. She just kind of put her arms around me and said, "Wow, this looks so nice." And I really felt like she believed in me.
Okay.
And that was the moment I just kind of said, "Man, I'll be with her forever."
All right. Aw. All right, guys, when we come back, we'll continue this conversation on a blueprint to a healthy relationship. So now I'm going to direct my next question to Tisha Scott. What work, if any, did you do to prepare for marriage?
Let's see. Actually, when we met, I was a senior in college, so I wasn't even thinking about marriage. I was more so thinking about my career and moving out of Alabama. So I would say I actually worked on me. Like, I had me together. So it wasn't about, a man coming along. I was single because I just wasn't focused on relationship at all. So I would say the thing I did was I had Tisha together.
Okay. What is intimacy? Because we seem to have some guests who equates intimacy to just sex. I ain't gonna call no names.
Intimacy is closeness. It's not defined as just sex, but it's anything that helps you grow a little bit closer to your partner. I'll say it like that.
Okay. So, Marsau, in your interview, you said that sex was the single most important thing in marriage. I need you to elaborate on that statement, sir.
Now, I'll tell you this. A lot of times I've heard this in the past that people say things like, oh, there's an 80-20 rule. Why would you leave your 80% for this 20% over here, right? Well, let's just think about that. Will your bank accept 80% of your mortgage? Would you accept 80% of an Uber ride and they just leave you 20% away from your destination? At the end of the result, 20% is a lot. All right? It's not 99.1. It's 20 whole percent. All right? You wouldn't take 80% of your job and just leave the 20% on the table. When you get married, when you're in a relationship, some of the things that define relationships are, spending money on someone, communication, time, sex. These things are inflection points of relationships. When you get married, you only say that I'm going to leave one of these things for my spouse. Everything else I'll do with everyone else. Meaning that with your kids, with your parents, with your friends, you can spend time with, you can spend money on, you can laugh, they can comfort you, they can do all those different things. Except the one thing that you reserve for your spouse is sex. And so when you take that off the table, what you're saying is that I can't get this in a marriage. And I'd hate for people to go out there and think, especially women, to underestimate how important sex is in a relationship. Because once you say no, you're now in a sexless relationship. Once you take it off the table, now you're saying this guy can't have sex.
Okay, so Marsau, you said in your pre-interview that sex is the single most important thing in the marriage. And if there is no sex, then why even get married, right? But then we have the vows in sickness and in health. So how do you explain that?
I explain that because, let's keep it 100. Guys ain't complaining about women, their wives that are not having sex when they're unhealthy, all right? We're talking about healthy sex. We're talking about, I don't feel like it tonight sex. We're talking about, like, oh, we've been missing, we only did it once this month sex. That's what we're talking. That's really what we're talking about. And so the idea of it is that you guys or women sometimes may think that it's an additive or added bonus. I'm telling you, it's a basic essential. And if you don't believe it, then outsource it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Is that not fair?
Outsource it.
Outsource it.
Wait, one last point.
What are your thoughts on this? Because you said in your interview that you got it 90% of the time, and then the other 10% is just like, okay, whatever.
I don't know what Marcel talking about.
He ain't riding with you, Martha.
Marcel, I hadn't had sex this year.
Kevin.
I'm just kidding. What was the question? I'm still shocked. Ask me the question again.
How important is sex in the relationship?
I will piggyback and say it is important in a relationship.
But it's not the single most important thing in the relationship.
No, because most of the time, I mean, for me, just us being in each other's company is good. And half the time, we own several businesses and we primarily work from home. I have my office and she has her office. By the time we get into bed, hell, we tired. It's important, but it's not. I mean, it's not the only thing.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to ask him a question. I want to ask this a real quick question.
3 minutes.
What is the one thing in a marriage? If she said, hey, listen, I'm going to take this off the table, what would you immediately think about divorce? Would you say, she said, you know what, I don't ever want to work with you again.
Communicate.
I don't ever want to talk to you again.
If she stopped talking, I mean, there's.
Michael, I'm going to get you in on this.
I agree, because her mouth are working out.
Take on this.
Hey, just to be clear, I was not saying that it's not the guy's job to do that. I'm saying it's important.
Absolutely, sex is important, but sometimes we have to think, if I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I have to do work, I have to cook, I got to take care of the kids, I have social activities, I'm taking care of my family. Sometimes I'm just damn tired, okay? I get home, I got to jump in the shower, I'm exhausted. I take the wig off, I take the dress off, I get in the bed, I'm exhausted.
How important is being submissive in your marriage? And just talk to me about how that looks.
I think being submissive is important. I feel like you have to figure out what works best for your marriage and be the woman that you need to be for your husband. So that's very important in our household. My husband is the head and I allow him to lead, So I try to cater to him, and we used to butt head at first, but as you grow and develop, and especially within your marriage, you guys learn each other, so.
But you can't be submissive to everybody. You have to be deserving of that. You have to be the man. Be the man and lead your house, okay? And I'm not talking about just financially. My husband runs the household. I'll see my husband out in the yard. We have a yard person that cuts the grass. My husband's still out there doing his thing. And I'll go out there and say, honey, you want some iced tea? Or do you need some help? We have to support each other. So whenever my husband needs me to do anything, I am going to do it for him. The word submissive is not a bad thing.
Then my question is, was it like that before you got married, or has it changed over the years?
Oh, no, it wasn't like that. Like the diva said, listen, we'll be on 565. Hey, let's get on like quick. Like it was before kids. Like when you don't have kids, everything is about you two. It was just about us. But once we started having kids and our schedules got crazy in business, like at 8 o'clock, I'm tired. So Yeah, I go to bed at like 8:30. I'm an early bird. That's why it's on my schedule in the morning.
I need to see your schedule.
I need to see your schedule.
You need to see your schedule.
Look, we're not gonna have a black house. So peace at all costs, as long as the house is not black.
Marsau, I have that same question for you. How important is it to put ego to the side and admit when you're wrong?
Well, I got married when I was 27, and I will say this: one of the tough lessons I've learned, because I'm a very logical thinker, and I can probably talk about
a lot.
Yeah, well, but the truth is, like you say, oh, you think you're right. Well, if I didn't think I was right, I wouldn't talk, right? So I always think I'm right, but I'm willing to listen too. But I'm only willing to listen to logic, and so because I could clarify my points in a disagreement, then I could always say, well, get her to see it my way. And then I'd have the same argument the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and I realized, she doesn't really see it my way. So I really, really take to heart that a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still.
Men who philosophize what I said, you can articulate, but see, we're emotional beings, right?
And like Jack said, that you have to understand that it's always something different. And so you really have to step back and ask yourself, okay, what else? What else are we talking about here? And once you really get to the core of it, at the root, where I'm like everyone is that, hey, there is a problem. No matter what she's articulating the problem is, there is a problem. She is unhappy. Let me deal with the fact that my wife is unhappy in this situation, and let me surgically find out what the problem is. But I have no problem with being wrong. I want to get it right.
I want to ask Marsau and Tisha, how has working in the public eye impacted your marriage, negative or positive?
Our marriage, we get a lot of heat. We get a lot of heat about our relationship. People see our relationship on TV. They have a lot to say. So I get DMs, I get personal emails, everything. Everybody has an opinion. But honestly, it has brought us stronger. I think, we were like, man, this is us against the world. You may not understand our marriage, you may not understand us, but we know each other and we hold each other accountable. And we was like, we know what goes on in our household. So you have to make sure that foundation is good and strong, and you have to know what you have within each other. So it has definitely strengthened our marriage.
Okay. And Marsau, I know you mentioned something about being able to see yourself and even listening to some of the critics and making some adjustments. Some you throw out, but then some feedback you take into consideration.
Part of being successful as a black man in America is to really, a lot of times you have to just not listen to naysayers. Right? And that sometimes can be a problem, because growing up and to be successful in a lot of areas in life, you're not listening to the people that say no, that you're doing it wrong. And you have to be steadfast in your own beliefs. So naturally, you grow accustomed to ignoring feedback from other people, especially when they don't know your real story. And just to piggyback on what Tisha said, it's been a real blessing. It's been a real blessing to have a lot of criticism, because we were a tree planted by the water, and we were 10, 11 years in deep before we got any feedback. And for millions, and really, hundreds of thousands of people are just talking trash about your marriage and calling you stupid and doing all of this stuff right here. And this whole reality TV. And the wind blows, and you get bent, but you don't break. And then you turn around and be like, man, the hell with them.
Right.
And you grow stronger, and you're like, it's us against the world. You can't mess with us. And so now I don't care. And I love the fact that our marriage is so strong, we can handle all of it. And I say, put yours against the test. You do the same thing as ours.
Right. So, but I have a question for Marsau, because I can't let this show go by without asking about the in-laws.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Letitia's mother. I have to ask. I'm sorry. My mother's in the audience. Yeah. Ain't no way. Yeah. Ain't no way.
I honestly think that, and let me tell you something. Just keep it a buck. She's about 85% like that.
That's a lot.
So how do you manage that, though?
The first couple years, it was literally just, hey, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. I won't do this. You don't have to choose. But then after a while, she calmed down for a bit, and then just little bitty, triggers that come up there, and that's just a point of contention in our marriage, because I'm telling you, that's 85%. And even with the hey, set boundaries, And I think that some people in our marriage, not me, let people get away with some stuff that they shouldn't.
I think Letitia's wrong. I think she's wrong. And I have love for you. And I just think some of the things that we see, because we don't see everything. Right. I just think you as a wife, and this is your husband, some of the things with your mom's behavior is out of line. It is totally out of line. And if it was reversed and his mother was treating you that way, you would want him to check that and end it. So somewhere in there, I have a lot of love for my mom, and we're tight. It is no way my mom would do that to him, to my husband. And I think you're wrong, and you need to fix it.
I hear you.
I love you. I meant to tell you I love you too.
I received it. And I have talked to my mom. I've shaken my mom. Me and my mom have had a fallout, but she's still my mother. So it is a tough position to be in when you have that, because I can't not have a relationship with my mom. And I talked to Marsau, because sometimes Marsau, he picks as well. We was just in Mobile this weekend, and they was both going at it. And it's hard to be in, but I don't know how to change my mom. I can't make her do what I want her to do. I've suggested she don't come over my house as often. I've set those boundaries with her, but it's what more do you do? I don't know.
Have you ever had I'm just curious, have you ever had a conversation as to why She doesn't, because it's an issue of respect at the end of the day. It's diminished respect.
Or she wants attention.
Could be.
Maybe she's not getting attention and she need a man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Then she need to spend more time with her man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know
the
it's
tough
a
part about
lot.
it is that I can't stop it. You know, I can't stop it, but I just choose not to because of love.
Okay. All right, guys. That's nice. Look, that's nice. Sasha said it. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation on a blueprint to a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Work, 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 what you do me, work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. Cause some about that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, in the cafe,
It's just entertainment purpose. It's not. It's entertainment purpose. It's not.
In the case of anybody.
This is just entertainment purpose. It's not.